hasn't it? At least one defensive switch off.
Well, Dele Alli keeps giving the ball away, and we've got to stop that. Someone's got to get in his ear.
Here's Young. This time Dele's pass finds its target, but Henderson was being hurried and hassled. Now he's doing the hurrying and hassling.
It's their system. It asks you to play, and you have to play well to play between their lines.
Granqvist was dithering there. Almost allowed an opportunity for Kane. Berg. Lingard seen off by Ekdal.
They'll scrap and they'll battle for every ball, Sweden. It's remarkable. I think they've only had an average of 38% possession in this competition. They don't really want the ball.
Less than that in their previous game against Switzerland. The phrase that was used to describe them was organised and obdurate. Might be doing them down a little bit. They know how to win. Granqvist.
Well, he couldn't play there, could he? Give it away cheaply. Nearly fell over it.
The fourth official, Antonio Mateo Lahoz, has found cause to have a word with Steve Holland and Gareth Southgate. They don't normally cause the fourth official too many bothers.
No.
Maguire. Walker. Trippier into Kane. Henderson. Nicely knocked away by Kraft to Klaassen. Stones is in. Dele Alli dispossesses Victor Klaassen.
We've had some joy down the left, but I think Trippier is the better player on the right-hand side. Looks particularly sharp tonight.
Raheem Sterling. Here's Young. Young puts it across where Granqvist was waiting for it.
Granqvist positions himself well. He doesn't necessarily mark. He's in the space.
Lingard. Will that reach Trippier? It does. Ekdal up but not away. Now Sweden do clear their lines.
It's almost a desperate clearance as well.
If you're thinking, why did Martin say tonight? Well, it is coming up to 6:30 here in Samara. We are 3 hours ahead of the UK. Hasn't really got any cooler than it was in the afternoon, though. Henderson. Dele Alli. Had to be Trippier's. Trippier's cross. That maybe could have been left, but Kraft didn't want to take the chance.
No, good play again. England on that right-hand side. Trippier. Such good quality that he has.
Now Ashley Young needs to deliver a quality corner. The usual queue has formed. Maguire, Kane, Stones, now they break. And it's headed firmly in!
Oh my God!
If one Harry doesn't get you, the other one will!
Oh no, he didn't see it.
England score from another set piece! A memorable first international goal for Harry Maguire.
Well, the man mounting it. Look at the power of his. That's my ball. Nobody else is getting it. Look at that. Up, 1, 2 and 3. He climbs through the air. And look at the power in that header. Outstanding.
His 10th game for England, the biggest game of his career. Sweden 0, England 1. That is what it means.
It just shows you England are becoming the specialists of set pieces. It doesn't matter there, they went zonal, they've been man-marked throughout the competition, but you can't give him that kind of space.
Well, Sweden might just have to up their tempo a little bit now. Just imagine back in the UK, absolute scenes.
We've just got to see out the next 10 minutes or so. Just be nice and calm. Keep doing what we're doing.
Slowly but surely and steadily, it had been coming.
What's admirable is the way we're now passing the ball, no one panicking. I couldn't be happier for a player, by the way, that you see his route into the game, and I think all the big clubs will be chasing him when this competition is over.
Now, do not put a downer on Leicester City. Big enough. Leicester's Maguire is the toast of all England right now. Player built in your image, Martin.
Well, listen, there's a Bobby Moore statue, isn't there, just outside Wembley, and his presence in the team is almost as big as that statue at the moment.
Oh, that's a big call.
And I mean it, he's impressed me immensely.
An England throw-in. Kyle Walker. Pickford too long and too strong for Ashley Young.
Yes, but he's got to keep doing that. It's something that he's normally very good at. They're going to press us, we can pick out our wing-backs.
Trent Alexander-Arnold looks cool as a cucumber. Phil Jones having a word with Martin Olsen, Swansea City, former Blackburn colleagues. Klassen. Walker to Trippier. Sterling's on the run. He'll be far too quick for Granqvist.
Oof, that's unlucky.
That was important.
Yes, we saw Sterling's pace there. Granqvist doesn't fancy that one in the channel. It's a good outball for England.
Sterling. Stones. Pickford. What a ball that was. Kieran Trippier. 4 to aim for. Sterling went for it. Granqvist made sure he won it. Henderson sat up nicely. Actually sat up too high.
Yeah, he's acknowledged that. Just tell him, isn't it, the captain? And you just come in behind me.
Football's coming home, football's headed home. What a thumper from Maguire.
Immense setup.
Sweden watching it on the big screen immediately afterwards. Where did we go wrong? As yet, nothing to trouble Jordan Pickford in the England goal.
Long may that continue.
Jurgen Klinsmann called it in the studio pre-match. England had to be patient for 20 minutes, have a look at how things were going. Both sides were, and England have grown into the game.
We don't want to invite free kicks, though, into our box, because we know that they're just as good at set pieces as England are.
And England might be about to find out. Martin Margetson, the goalkeeper coach, is relaxed enough with things, a little more tense, the two alongside him.
Well, this is a high line for England.
Getting higher, pushing out all the time. They left Bergin behind them. Maguire heads away. Grankvist went down before that ball was played in. He just had a word with the assistant referee, Sander van Roekel.
He did, and I think that's Ashley Young who's there as almost the buffer, the smaller man, just to contact him for Maguire to come on and head it.
England fans find full voice. Grankvist. Lindelof to Kraft. Pickford's coming to get that. He's in front of where most of the vocal English fans are stationed in the Samara Arena.
It's interesting, fascinating tactically here. He's just thrown that out. They're pressing high and our wing-backs are available for that one.
A couple of times Jordan Pickford's distribution going that way has been found wanting with boot and with hands.
But what they're doing at Klaassen and Forsberg are coming centrally particularly, and it's quite difficult because it's almost 4v4 at the back at times.
Here's Emil Kraft. Young out to block him. Can't stop that one though. It was too high for Berg, and Trippier will watch it go. We are in the 38th minute of the World Cup quarter-final between Sweden and England have the advantage. Walker goes for distance. Kane is getting closer to Grankvist, but Sweden's captain had a clean head start on England's. Maguire. Klaassen under pressure from Dele Alli.
Good pressure, England forcing Sweden back.
Olsen out to Grankvist, who never looked like he wanted it. Ekdal, that's nice footwork to shimmy past Dele Alli, but he couldn't do the same past Henderson. Lingard.
Just a word on Lingard, he's covering so much distance in that midfield. He seems to just float across the ground, offers himself everywhere for the team.
Ashley Young.
That ball rolling out, but Dele Alli looked pointed as if he was going to run into the channel there.
Young's passing, not what it often is so far in the first half, apart from, of course, once with a telling corner. That'll do, Ashley.
As a top player, you have to have almost a selective memory when it comes to losing the ball. Certainly I did.
Did your mind flash back to all the World Cup trips with England that you took at all this week?
Oh, of course, you know, and spent so much time with Gareth Southgate, and to say immensely proud of what he's achieved. He's always been particularly stable and calm. And good fun to be around, let's be fair.
Good intervention that from Walker, and he's moving like Billio to keep it in. Maguire to Young.
It's like a jet engine, isn't it?
I think you just touched on it, that word fun. This England team seem to be having lots of it. Giving us plenty to enjoy. Dele Alli. Raheem Sterling. Sterling away. Jesse Lingard went for the impish flick. Sweden maybe had the chance to break, didn't really take it. Here's Larsson.
They couldn't. England getting around them really well. This is Sterling. Just can't get enough power, can he, on that cross?
Klaassen. Over to Grandfist. And he missed it, but he has time to go and retrieve. Larsson. Forsberg. Forsberg's ball in, and Jordan Pickford gave a big shout, commanding one to John Stones. Leave it be.
Well watched, wasn't it, by the goalkeeper? You know, they can do what they want out wide, but we have to control things in the box. We look nice and comfortable for that cross.
Here's Trippier.
It's a hopeful ball there, wasn't it, from Larsson?
Stones. Walker, Henderson makes himself available again, and Trippier down the right. Over towards Sterling. Sterling nearly in. Lindelof at the last snuffed it out for Sweden.
Great move there, wasn't it? And Trippier, ridiculous pass that he plays there. The weight on that. Top draw.
Kane. Lingard. Sterling. He's onside. Olsen saved it. The flag goes up. Time seemed to stand still.
Well, it did. And Sterling wasn't to know that he was offside. And clearly he should have put that away. Oof, yes. Linesman's done well. Well, he didn't do anything. It was VAR that did it. Should be putting them away.
I think Raheem Sterling just sensed that he was. I don't think he could believe it.
Well, I like to think that you're right, Guy, because that will hurt his confidence.
Why on earth is the assistant referee not raising his flag there?
Well, they're told they're not allowed to do so.
But that wasn't even a close one,
well,
was it?
for sure. But if he doesn't know, then he can't put his flag up.
Stones. Pickford. Trippier. Henderson. Sterling might be on this time. Sterling takes it. It's a super stop so far. Sterling goes. And he took too long. It's a corner. It just won't go in for Raheem Sterling.
Well, it's almost like take two, isn't it? We're watching a replay almost. Henderson, wonderful ball. His first touch is outstanding. But the keeper, in fairness, comes out and smothers him. He just takes far too long. And in the end, they just crowd him out of it. Just there, his touch on his left foot. He's got to play that across his body with more care. Dear, oh dear.
Grandfist it was with the final block. Who's going to come out of the pack for England this time? Stones with the near run. Maguire, being held, couldn't get anywhere near it. Henderson. Young. Great fist out. Stones couldn't direct his header. He had a totally free run onto it. England really pressing as we approach half-time. Here's Sterling. It's another England corner. The board said only 1 minute to add on. We're nearly at the end of that minute.
Well, I just hope we don't regret these missed opportunities. They can't deal with us from set pieces.
Stones again leaves the melee first. Lindelof heads out. Young. No time for another shot on Sweden's goal because it is half-time in Samara. And maybe that whistle just came at the wrong time for England because they were swarming all over the Swedes there. As it is, they have the advantage at half-time thanks to Maguire's magnificent header. Refresh yourselves, do what you need to do, and then come back for the next 45 minutes. England still need you to send them victorious. Sweden 0, England 1.
The World Cup trophy is with us in the studio and it has a look about it. I think it wants to go home. What a beautiful looking thing that is, isn't it? Well, England are ahead at half-time. They've looked very comfortable. You know, it was never going to be a blockbuster, but overall, they've had the chances.
Very impressed with them, Gary, in that first half. Done exactly what they had to do. Comfortable on the ball, creating chances, getting balls into the box after reluctantly doing that in the first 15 or 20 minutes. Now looking for balls in behind because Sweden are playing that high line. We have the pace to hurt them, as Raheem showed there on one or two occasions, and I've seen nothing from Sweden that we should be worried about in that first half because they lack pace in that team, and England can press and press high.
Give us a neutral, balanced version, please, Jürgen.
Well, I think we discussed it before. It will take time to get into this game. You know, both teams were nervous in the first 15, 20 minutes. You know, a lot of missed passes, and it's difficult to get a rhythm. But then they settled, and especially England did really well to get more and more into the game. And you could see it coming. You could see it coming. If they get 1 or 2 or 3 chances, they're going to score. And what a goal it was.
Yeah, great set piece yet again.
Yep, and set pieces.
80% of England's goals have been from
set pieces in this tournament for England are proving vital, crucial. They've got big lumps in there. Harry Maguire has been dominant in that box, and the way he attacks his ball is just, he takes them out, gets down, get out of the way, this is my ball, I want to see a route to goal, and he does it. And this is what you need to do in the opponent's box, and what they've created now within this tournament, there's a fear. You can sense a fear in opposing teams when we get set pieces because we've been so dominant.
What a header, isn't it?
Oh, it's a magnificent header. It's a very, very good ball, and you get it into that area, and you know in that England team you've got guys who are prepared to stick their head on it and get on the end of it, and what a brilliant header.
You know what, so this is what, to me, people who are saying Danny Rose, a natural left footer, play him out wide on the wing-back area. This is why Ashley Young's in the team. His delivery from set pieces has been exquisite in this tournament so far.
Certainly has. Goals from set pieces, England comfortably clear, as you can see there with 10. Uruguay the next best. Sweden are there as well, and so they'll need to do something in the second half. England are a clean sheet away from the first World Cup semi-final since 1990. The only issue is they haven't kept one yet. Let's see the fans' reaction around the country to Harry Maguire's sensational header. This is Leeds. Plenty of excitement, jumping up and down. It's a warm day. Croydon. Oh, love that one. Yes, Croydon. Well played.
South London.
Nottingham, East Midlands, not bad. Slightly more reserved. Croydon's a winner so far. Newcastle, come on, the Geordies. The Geordies never let you down, Alan. They never let you down, do they? Yeah.
I'm surprised they're chucking a beer around.
They'll have to get another one. Raheem Sterling, he's been a constant threat. He just can't quite get his goal, can he?
Yeah, but I think this is why he's in the team. There are people that are going to be frustrated with his end product in terms of scoring goals, but what he's doing is a threat, and that's what I love from Jordan Henderson today. He's passing the ball forward. It makes him a different player. But here, Sterling will be disappointed. You want him to put these chances to bed. He's got to become a bit more clinical. But what he's doing is he's putting this Swedish team on the back foot. And he can only continue doing this. He's going to get us a goal.
Great first touch as well. It's slightly unfortunate. They did it all. Just the keeper just got a touch to it.
If they're going to play that high line there that we just saw, then they're going to concede chances, and it's playing right into England's hands with the pace that they've got up front. And if they can continue to just flick those balls in like that Jordan Henderson did there, well, they're causing problems.
Yeah. So they've used that direct ball occasionally we talked about before the game.
Yeah,
against a team that are deep, it's good sometimes.
You gotta cut them between the lines, and that's what happened then, towards the end of the first half. And you will get more of those opportunities second half. And sooner or later you're gonna execute it a little bit better and score a second goal.
Not seen an enormous amount of Harry Kane in the first half, Alan. There's one chance, wasn't there, that he just pulled a little bit wide.
Yeah, it fell to him edge of the box. Forward again from Jordan Henderson, direct from Raheem when he's getting that ball. He's getting in there, and we were shouting for him to push it right, but he came inside left, and he just didn't connect with it properly, Harry, did he?
This is why Sterling's in the team, though. He takes your team up the pitch. You've taken 25 yards up there, and the number 9's had a strike on goal. That's why he's there. Yes, we want him to hit the target and score and execute these chances being created, but he brings a lot more to this team, and he also drops in to add numbers into the midfield area.
He's a player's player.
He is a player's player. Yeah. Many of them down the years.
A few of those ones appreciated perhaps more by players that play with him than perhaps supporters at home who might get frustrated occasionally by his finishing sometimes, Jurgen.
But I think he's always there and unpredictable. And I think, opportunities will come up the second half more. You just cannot concede in the next 15, 20 minutes a goal. Just kind of stick to the plan, rather instead of playing out of the back, rather hit it long here and there just to make sure nothing happens. And then you will get your opportunities to score a second one.
Jurgen talked about perhaps everyone was a little bit nervous in the early stages of the game. England were a little bit reluctant to take a chance, a little bit reluctant to get a cross in.
Yeah, they were much more comfortable in the last 15 or 20 minutes of that game. And we saw the pass from Jordan Henderson, which is first time. And when this ball comes back into Walker here, as a forward, look, you've got 3 or 4 in the box. That ball can go in now. There's no harm with doing that at all, and that's how you upset these teams who are well organised. Comes to him again, then he puts it in. All right, it's a poor cross. Similar thing again. Take one touch, you knock it back. That can go into the box again. Look, you've got 4 England players in there. There's no harm doing it because you upset them. Another touch, but we've grown into the game, and Jordan Henderson has shown that if you knock a ball first time, they're not really expecting it, and we will cause them problems if we do that.
I'll tell you what, it's up to the attacking players there, though, to Dele Alli's. That's what he lives off them type of opportunities. Tell them, you've got to be screaming at that fullback, say, I'm making moves, put the ball in the box, because that's where your best chance is going to come.
There's no question that England grew into the game as it went along. Early on, a few nervous passes. There's a possible chance for Ali to get Kane in, and he didn't quite find him.
Yeah, but I think, listen, we're a young team. We've got average, I think, is at 23, 24 caps throughout the squad. Yeah, he could have played that forward. I think in the end it's a difficult ball, but it's a ball that Dele Alli's capable of playing. And that's early in the game. I think the young players sometimes want to play himself and see himself into the game with some more simple passes. But again, what we say at this level, to win games, you have to take risks, and I'm sure they're going to go that way.
It's easy to forget, isn't it, the lack of experience in this team, the fact that they are so young and they're learning as they're going along.
Oh, absolutely. In the game, a quarterfinal in the World Cup is a lot kind of to settle your nerves, but also is a lot then about communication, help each other. So when Dele Alli had these 2-3 missed passes, it was nervous. Yeah. So it's important that you find a teammate then that gives you a clap on the shoulder or shouts you, calm down, it's all right, you can make mistakes. So it's a lot about talking. The more they talk, the more they are alive, the more confident they feel at the end of it.
The other thing as well is it's important to keep wanting the ball. And despite giving it away, generally the England players, they all want the ball.
Which is very pleasing on the eye. And Gareth, I think, will be delighted at half-time because he knows that something similar for 10 or 15 minutes, Sweden are going to have to start and chase the game. Then that'll open up even more space.
OK, we need a break. Time for some trails.
When I grow up, I want to be a striker, fly half, goal shooter, jammer, break woman, point guard, weekend. Flyweight champion.
We're inspiring the next generation of female athletes with an additional 500 hours of women's sports across the BBC.
There'll be highlights of this game and also Croatia versus Russia tonight on BBC One at 10:25. Don't forget the player rater is live for this game. Check out the BBC Sport website or app. The Barbershop Ballers will be open for business straight after this programme on the Red Button Sport website and iPlayer. And British interest later at Wimbledon. Kyle Edmund takes on Novak Djokovic in the third round of the men's singles. The second half is about 5 minutes away. Let's go pitch side to Samara.
I'm delighted to say we're going to get a Swedish perspective on the first half. Jesper Blomqvist has joined us, and Sweden up against the ropes really for the last 15 minutes or so there. How are they going to get back into this?
Yeah, it is stiff, but as long as it's just 1-0, we still always have a chance. I think we started really well, and we really got England where we wanted them. You know, it was quite... We slowed down the tempo, didn't give them much space, and they were slowing it down as well. But now we let that important 1-0 goal in, so now we are on a bit of an uphill. But you know, it's still chances. But they had to. England started to increase the pace a little bit in the end of the first half.
And the pace looks like the difference, doesn't it? And that's what Sweden are scared of.
Yeah, we looked a little bit leggy in the first 25 minutes of the game. Whether it was going into the extra time, you know, in the game previous, I don't know. Maybe a bit of nerves as well. But in the last 15 minutes of that game, we were much better. We're taking more risks with the ball, putting the ball into dangerous areas, and we've got to stay on the front foot now. We've not kept a clean sheet yet.
I know what the problem was. You were scoring 1-0, and we had to attack a little bit more. And now you really have us where you want us, and you have that space again. You can run into it. So that's the problem for us.
But you kind of agree with Jesper, because England have conceded in every game so far, so they need the extra goal. They need another goal.
I think it suits us to play on the front foot. Anytime we just start dropping off, I don't think we have that confidence to see out with a clean sheet. So get on the front foot. Sterling hopefully making those runs that he's making will be the difference, because he's been positive in terms of him getting in that place in the first at the end.
Thank you very much, guys.
Of your seat is the best place to be. If you're 28 or under, you've never seen England get past this stage. That was struck with some ferocity. And Sterling has taken it past him for Kane to shoot. Drag wide. It's headed firmly in. Harry Maguire got his head to it. Get you, the other one will.
Yeah, two Harrys, eh? I've got a few stats. You're probably sitting at home thinking, well, we're 1-0 ahead. There's a long way to go for England in this game. Got a few stats that might make you feel a little bit more comfortable, or you might want to whack me for possibly tempting fate. But here you go. The Swedes have never won a World Cup match in which they have trailed at half-time, drawing 2, which were both against England, and losing the other 9, while England have lost just one of their 22 World Cup games in which they've been leading at half-time, the sole defeat being the 1970 World Cup quarter-final. The omens are pretty good.
It's looking very good, very, very positive. We were discussing to say that other than a set piece, I don't think this Sweden side should score against England other than that, because that is one of their strengths, has proved to be one of England's weaknesses. So if we can not give them any set pieces, we should have a brilliant chance of going through.
There's a reason that perhaps Sweden don't win from half-time, is because if they have to push out, then it makes them perhaps more vulnerable defensively, and that could happen. That's what England will hope will happen in the second half.
And it has to happen. I mean, they have to open up, they have to go forward, they have to prove a point now. They're running behind. I think it's a lot about the body language now of the English players coming out. Show them that you're confident now, show them that you're going to finish things off. Don't allow any mistakes in the back, in your defensive third, and then go for the second goal.
Yeah, game management.
Exactly, I was going to say exactly that. The game management is key here. The likes of Jordan Henderson, experienced players, to make sure they just keep the ball at the other end of the pitch. Don't let yourselves get sucked into a basketball back and forth game. Composure, remain composed, and make sure you see this game out, because we're 1 foot in the semi-final now.
Well,
so that's the man I think he'll be licking his lips, Rashford. He'll be sitting there thinking, all this space in behind, get me on that pitch.
Yeah. Well, there are the England players in the tunnel. We've seen Sweden's already out on the field of play, and Gareth has given that calmness to this side. They've got themselves in a terrific position.
Oh, they've got one foot in that semi-final, Gary. Just see the game through now. See it through. No stupid errors, and try and limit the set pieces to Sweden, and more of the same energy.
And go for the second goal.
Yeah.
Don't sit back like they've done against Colombia.
There's is Gareth Southgate? Is that a lookalike? That must be a lookalike. Surely he's not sitting there. Oh, that's extraordinary. It was quite similar, isn't it? It's waistcoat and everything. Brilliant stuff. And hopefully he'll be cheering in the second half. Let's rejoin Martin Keown and Guy Mowbray.
Thank you, Gary. There's the real Gareth Southgate. I know you like your stats and facts. You've just given us some positive ones. Well, just to build the tension a little bit more, there have been 2 previous World Cup meetings between England and Sweden and 2 previous European Championship meetings. All 7 Sweden goals have come in the second half of those games. There's a way to go yet. England will have the first kick of the second half, and Jesse Lingard will eventually kick the ball and get things going again, with John Stones straight away looking for Harry Kane to win one. Out came Kraft. That will be a Sweden throw, with England fans in good voice and great heart right around the stadium in sweltering Samara. Granqvist to Augustinsson. Lindelof to Kraft. Now Larsson. There's Klaassen. Here's Kraft. Looped up off Maguire. Pickford didn't want to come for it. Forsberg was always waiting for it at the back. Klaassen. Dele Alli makes the block. Martin.
Very important that England start this second half well. Sweden would have sat there with not much really positive in the first half, taking it all in, 45 minutes away from going out to the semi-final of this competition, and England really looking good.
Augustinsson. That's met strongly and saved brilliantly. Larsson. I think it was the hand of Pickford. It might have been a bit of post. Ekdal is seen off by the strength of Maguire, and now it is an England goal kick, and we'll get another look at that.
Well, I think if there are ever any doubts about our goalkeeper, you see what an outstanding save that is. Just look at the reflexes. He's across, strong hand. Powerful header, by the way.
It's Marcus Berg, who's gone 11 international games without a goal since banging 4 past Luxembourg last October. Regular scorer in his domestic leagues. He plays in the United Arab Emirates. He's taken the money.
Well, so vital, wasn't it? You can sit there and say what you want at the start of the second half. You've got to keep that clean sheet from an England point of view.
Granqvist. Oh, that will buoy Sweden, who already seem to be getting numbers higher up the field.
They will, and it's, as we expected, it's a cross into the box.
Dele Alli to Ashley Young.
They're going to come at England, though. Sweden are going to leave some gaps behind. Interesting that Sterling's playing really high up at the moment.
Henderson. Clear route through, back to Jordan Pickford. That's going to be England's throw. Trippier's jump was enough. Kane. Seb Larsson. Here's Klassen. Ashley Young is after him. Berg dispossessed by Henderson. Kane with a nice ball to Kieran Trippier. Walker. Kane with another nice ball, this time to Ashley Young. Henderson. Trippier's the target. Great leap from Kieran Trippier.
Great ball as well from Henderson.
There's Lingard.
He's got that passing range in, hasn't he? Just need a little bit more movement for the back three when we're in possession.
Berg. Toivonen. Back comes Trippier. It was a clean tackle.
Sees the danger so quickly, Trippier. We talk about how good a server he is from set pieces and his quality on the ball, but he can defend as well. Needed to there.
Bury's finest is having a blinder again. John Stones. Kane will attack that. Lindelof was ready and waiting for him and the ball. There's Maguire coming to win another one. That goes against Raheem Sterling.
He's unlucky there, Sterling, just coming off to receive it.
Caught Grindfist, who, like England's Fabian Delph, became a dad again this week. Unlike the England man, he stayed in camp. Didn't make the trip back to Sweden to be with wife Sophie.
Well, congratulations to him, but let's hope he didn't get too much sleep, though.
Already admitted that on Thursday night he didn't. Klassen comes off the heels of Young. Forsberg. Forsberg trying to catch out Pickford. I think actually it was intended as a cross and Pickford didn't have to bother anyway. There's the header from Berg again.
Yes, it's an outstanding save, isn't it? He hangs in the air, Berg, by the way. Good technique. And that's right at the start of the second half. The keeper, well prepared. Expect the unexpected.
The usual happened when he hit the headlines. Suddenly he's all over the front pages of the papers as well as the back, as the rest of the country tried desperately to find out who he is. Of course, those of us who watch the Premier League regularly and beyond have known for a while.
But his family know who he is, and they'd be very proud of him at the moment.
And we've seen him growing confidence, and right now he's just back to little Picky playing football and goal with his mates again.
That's what you got to make it, isn't it? Just another game, guy.
England throw. To the constant strains of On and On, one of England fans' adopted anthems for this trip. Don't Take Me Home feels like yesterday's news. Down goes Kane, England free kick. There's a response from Sweden's fans as a real noise goes around the Samara Arena now.
Well, it's another set piece, and our fans realise how good we are from these.
I think Jana Andersson is thinking it might be time for a change. Wasn't the right time for England's free kick in the ref's opinion.
Well, it was unlucky. Dele Alli was away there.
Ashley Young gives the signal. Maguire at the back of it. There's Harry Maguire. And that was Sterling going for something acrobatic. Maguire again! Trippier. It's going to be an England throw. No, it's not. It's gone Sweden's way.
Well, you cannot believe Maguire again. It's just, he's got so much space. He heads it across the goal. It's an overhead kick that doesn't come off. It comes back to him again. He just keeps winning everything in there. Not coming off though, is it, for Sterling?
And he keeps on plugging away. And Henderson keeps on driving through, and Raheem Sterling now to try and provide for somebody else. Trippier. Lost out to Forsberg. Forsberg then lost possession. And the referee is just wanting a word with Ola Toivonen here. Known to the ref from his time in Dutch football when he used to bag in plenty of goals for PSV Eindhoven. Not quite so successful with Sunderland. He only got one in his season on loan there. Was a big favourite of Dick Advocat. Jordan Henderson. Henderson. Sweden's ball. 10 second half minutes have gone. Are we going to see a bit more of a battle develop now, Martin?
Yeah, but I like England down this right-hand side.
And they go down that side again with Kane, and it's drifted away from Olsen, but not quite close enough to Sterling. Lindelof out. Maguire again, and Lingard took it away from him. It looked as though he was going to storm through.
Fancied a shot there, didn't he?
Lingard. Maguire somehow kept the ball. And it's deflected as Lingard hit it. England have a corner. England look as though they're ready for another push.
Well, as in the first half, England just going through the gears again. Lingard from distance.
Came off Kraft.
I think it's Trippier that's going to take it, and this boy's quality is absolutely top draw. Never mind the movement, you've got to put the ball in there in the first place.
A line of 6. The yellow shirts try to get in and amongst the red shirts to break up that line. Almost like a rugby move, the way this is going in. Trippier delivers. It's Lindelof who got his head to it. Henderson who went sprawling. Harry Kane is across to take the throw, but the referee decides it's not quite from the right place.
Every time, though, it's begging. It has to be defended, doesn't it? It's a really good ball in.
Kane bundles through. Henderson, Trippier wants it at the back. Young, oh, through the legs. Henderson. Sweden are having to soak up an awful lot. Young. Allowed to check back. Dele Alli. Jesse Lingard. Trippier. In from Lingard! This is the stuff of dreams from the Three Lions! Dele Alli has arrived at the World Cup party! A party that is ready for liftoff! Sweden 0, England 2.
Well, again, it's another sweeping cross in, and Dele Alli, look at this. Unbelievable, the space that he has. You see his eyes are like saucers when that ball comes to him. He couldn't miss. just picks his spot. He makes it look easy there, and he's a player we've been waiting to arrive on the scene, and boy, is he here now.
And even the man in the waistcoat in this heat is punching the air, bad shoulder or not, because his team are doing it again, and Kane has been unfairly blocked there, and quite heftily so. Free kick England with everything going their way, as long as Harry Kane's ribs are okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Just gets one, doesn't he, from Larson, taking him out.
And we know for so many of you at home, this will be the best football experience of your life so far. It goes on and on, with a huge half hour ahead of England here.
Just got to keep doing what they're doing. England, of course, more gaps will appear as Sweden have to push to get back into this game.
Lingard, the confidence is soaring. Here's Ashley Young. Dele Alli outside. It's headed away by Augustinsson. Trippier.
The number of players that England are getting forward at every opportunity. They're really trying to kill off their opponent.
Henderson.
It's really flowing now, isn't it? The way that England are playing. Confidence.
Give Jordan Pickford a touch. Ashley Young. This time Pickford's finding the pass.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
Henderson. Trippier. That should be a goal kick, shouldn't it? And it is. Well, Sweden have to do something. Substitutes are out warming up. Jenna Anderson, the coach, is clapping his hands, but he needs a whole lot more than he's getting from the players in yellow and blue.
Yeah, he certainly does. This might be an opportunity for them.
Might well be. It's Toivonen. It's Berg! It's superbly saved! What a block that was too! Klassen can't get through. That was just magnificent. Bodies on the line, the England blockade stood strong.
Well, Pickford is absolutely inspired. Look at this for a save. Out, right hand out, low down, and there's Henderson to pop across.
Here come the Swedes. Pickford can watch that go though. The save was brilliant. The block, perhaps even better.
Well, I mean, look at that. I mean, it's right down there in the corner. He's just brilliant. And then there's Henderson blocking as well. This is what you need. Moments of inspiration. That save will do his confidence the world of good.
England were momentarily under siege, but first Pickford, then Henderson. No way through for Sweden in the Kingdom of Jordan.
Just got to manage this now.
This looks like it is Sweden's time as they prepare two substitutions. It had to come at some stage.
It did, and it's maybe a last flurry for maybe two of them that are going off as well.
Pickford will come and get that one. And doesn't have to be in too much of a hurry as Sweden are prepared to put Jon Guidetti into the game. Fans of Manchester City, Stoke, Burnley, Celtic may remember him. Celtic probably most fondly. There's Forsberg. That's Klassen. And that's Maguire. And here's Young. The temperature's rising.
Game's completely opened up now.
Sterling. Trippier.
This is where we can be patient, move the ball from side to side.
what you say because you don't want to tempt fate, but the way England are moving the ball at times, we'll forgive Carl Walker that aberration, but you do forget you are watching Gareth Southgate's team dominate a World Cup quarter-final.
Well, we certainly are. Just looking there again at Dele Alli's goal. Wonderfully worked. Just round the corner cross. They're queuing up, really.
Sweden change, number 1, sees Ola Toivonen replaced by Jon Guidetti. Change number 2, sees a familiar face come on. Emil Forsberg is off, having contributed very little. And it is Martin Olsen who's on, 12 and a half years in the English leagues behind him. Blackburn, Norwich, Swansea. Now Sweden against England as Kane finds Sterling. And Sterling has managed to win a corner. That looked against the odds.
This is perfect, isn't it? England just keep asking them to defend. Another set piece.
John Stones has just told Kieran Trippier to hang on a minute. He wants a piece of this. Trippier in. That could bounce anywhere. It's Henderson. It was missed by Sterling. It's Maguire. That's more like a centre-half. Sorry, Martin.
Well, it's like a pinball machine in there, isn't it? I mean, every time it goes in the box, they just can't deal with it. And it comes to Harry's left foot, and you dare to dream for a minute. They didn't come off for the big man. Important flick there.
It's just occurred to me, I've never had a look at your numbers. How many goals did you get?
Not enough, Guy, not enough. 2 for England, though. I'll take those.
That'll do. 2 for England might be enough today. Kuipers with half a smile is just encouraging Jordan Pickford to not take too long about this, as we have another look at a goal that we will see plenty over the next few days, over and over again.
Determined, isn't he? The contrast in the look. Swedish players know that time is maybe running out for them. You have to say Dele Alli, 1 or 2 people were saying maybe he shouldn't have started this game. Well, he's repaid that faith from the manager.
And that could be the trigger, couldn't it? We know about his ability.
Well, I think almost with Gareth Southgate, it's look, we're doing him a disservice. How do we get him into positions to score goals? Not that he's not playing well.
There's only just over a quarter of this quarter-final to go. Gustinson finds Robin Olsen. That was Walker. Breakfast. Maguire, Dele Alli, nudged onto Sterling. Kane sets off. Sterling can't pick him out, but that's terrible from Grankvist. It's Dele Alli, and it was Grankvist. Now he's in the mood. Henderson.
Great passage of play there from England.
Sterling. It's a lovely shift. Lingard has to be quick. Dele Alli, that took a deflection, it's a corner. And England keep on coming.
They do, and that one there, they managed to press high, won it back. Look at this for an effort. Just going wide.
Dipped his shoulder into it, Grankvist.
Certainly did, didn't he?
On the Kieran Trippier corner. refreshing to see so many good set-piece deliveries. How many times week in, week out in the Premier League do we bemoan hitting the first man with the corner?
Sure.
Trippier doesn't.
No, Groundfish though, a couple of times now he's got a vital flicks on the ball.
Maguire. Now it's all about that important game management that is such a buzzword. 2 words. England are growing. The young squad is learning.
This is good, isn't it, from England here? Look, forcing them, keeping them here.
I'm sure the atmosphere and the parties are growing and getting bigger all the time back home as well.
It hurts their confidence, Sweden, when they can't develop play from the back. He's applauding that, Henderson reading that ball into midfield.
Don't know how he does it, but he remains again the coolest man inside the arena.
Well, he always has been. You look at his behaviour, he's been exemplary. So calm, dignified.
Kraft. Young forces him outside. It's good work from Emil Kraft. Olsen. Augustinsson. It's a pretty neat ball into the box. Maguire was ready for it. Olsen. Larsson. There's Walker. Where to next?
Well, it's a sensible ball he's played.
Robin Olsen's just getting made to hurry a bit more by Jesse Lingard. Something on for Sweden maybe now. Neatly played in to Guidetti. There's a chance! It's another remarkable save by Pickford.
Well, he's having the game of his life. This good play again. Watch this now, it just comes in, the reflexes once more. It's straight at him, he had to say, but he still has to save it. Maguire can't get tight, and it's just a little flick over the bar.
Corner is looking for Groundfist, who can't get to it, and the referee feels that he was the player holding on to Maguire.
Well seen by the referee. This is the shot on the Turnberg. Look at this for a save. I mean, great fingertip save, isn't it? He just watches that onto his fingers. It is, I mean, it's goalkeeping of the highest order.
Going through the ranks at Sunderland, 6 loans out. Darlington, Carlisle, Preston, Bradford City. Sorry for leaving your club out.
There's now like a manager, though, that believes in you.
That's the message Gareth Southgate's been giving. Most of this squad have done the hard yards. They've worked their way up. They're working forward again. It's Jesse Lingard. And Sterling gives up on it.
Well, Lingard there has done everything right except for the pass. There's such question marks coming into this tournament about English goalkeepers.
And how many times have England come into the World Cup? And unfortunately, or for whatever reason, the goalkeepers have been on the wrong end of the headlines. Not Jordan Pickford tomorrow. Not if he can keep England's first clean sheet at this World Cup and see them through to the semi-final. Yes, pinch yourself. The semi-final.
Have to respect Sweden, though. They are creating opportunities. We've got to win those headers. Protect our goalkeeper.
Jordan Henderson, another northeast Jordan who's having a stormer.
I think there might be a substitute guy about to take place here.
Maybe Delph is getting ready.
Do you want me to play with Kuyas?
And he will have a spring in his step. Back home, birth of his 3rd daughter. back in the squad to gifts and cheers and celebrations all round. What a summer. What a challenge. Harry Maguire again. Referee quite happy with it, with Sweden complaining. Dele Alli goes in to try to win it. England throw. Guidetti, no, it's Classen, number 17, not 11. Lingard. Classen has now got back to his feet. Young with the ball at his. Henderson. Jordan Pickford doesn't want to get too carried away.
Exactly. Missed a beat there. This is good from England, Guy. They're making them kick it long. I'd like to think we can win this ball.
It's one of those games. I'm having an out-of-body experience, Michael. I keep looking at the screen alongside us to check the score.
Yes, if you're just tuning in, England are winning.
Who's just tuning in?
There might be some reading a book at home. If they are, they need to get a life.
Fabian Delph is going to come on for Dele Alli, the scorer of England's second goal. Dele Alli, who has been troubled by a thigh strain, and the referee is not impressed by this. Dele Alli, that's the finest bit of acting I've seen in a long time. He knew full well his number was on that board.
What, me, sir? Not I, sir. Yes, it is you. Been escorted off the pitch, but he's been magnificent tonight. I keep saying tonight because, of course, it's 7:30 here. Well, earlier at home.
Hug and a smile from the manager. Genuine disappointment at being taken off from Dele Alli.
That's right, he wants to show he can do more. Fancies another goal now he scored.
Fabian Delph gets another chance. Some were actually saying there was a case for him to start the game. Another Yorkshireman joins the fray. Henderson. Sterling. Lindelof can't handle the pace. He's in a good position to stop him now, perhaps. Delph. Young. Henderson. Delph. Kane. And to Trippier. Trippier fizzes it in. It was Emil Kraft who was in the right place for Sweden and actually hurt himself in blocking and clearing.
Well, it was great defending from him, you have to say, because Trippier has put another world-class cross in. Look at this, look at technique. He just guides that in. And Sterling catches him.
Back to his feet now, and England have a throw. England have 12.5 minutes plus whatever's added on.
It's interesting there, Guy, wasn't it? Sonny Delph, left-footed player, who's got a natural left footer, swinging crosses in from there as well. A bit more balance, maybe.
John Stones just had angry words with Marcus Berg after a collision. Classen storms through for Sweden. Back with Olsen. Blocked by Trippier. Now Gustafsson's coming to join him. Olsen's ignored him. Young.
This is great defending, by the way. Little bits of defending that are being missed. Walker's pace to get across, Trippier block, and it comes the other side. He's hurt him because of Young. He's really put in a big challenge on him.
Second time in 2 minutes that Kraft's been down.
Yeah, it's an honest challenge. I think it's the elbow.
Yeah, it did. Just went right into the abdomen. It's that follow-up there that caused the pain.
It's total commitment from these English defenders.
There will be a delay. Chance for England's players to, well, one or two of them going to Jordan Pickford's water bottle and taking on refreshment. That man's not hot.
Is he daring to dream?
I don't think Gareth Southgate will focus beyond the next step, which is the next 10 minutes and a bit. Then the step after that. It's the rest of us that can get very, very excited. It's closer. Did see a great line earlier on in the tournament from one of the original authors, David Baddiel, when he said, "I'm sure it's coming home yet, but it's got a bag tacked ready."
I think that when there's a break in play as a player, you start to think, don't you, about, you know, a semi-final. There's some great players back in the studio there. You know, Shearer and Rio Ferdinand wouldn't have played in a semi-final. Gary's done that, and Jurgen's actually played in a final and won it, but it's getting ever closer.
Few Swedish faces are falling. Talking body language now, 10 minutes is the time when you start to look at it all.
It's been a World Cup of twists and turns, of course.
You wouldn't be surprised if there's a nail biter to come today. Ekdal. Lindelof through to Klaassen. It's Lingard who dealt with him. It won't break for Berg because Pickford's onto it in a flash. And Jordan Pickford is a little too fired up with Marcus Berg. Kyle Walker too. John Stones has been getting up the nose of one or two in yellow.
Just need an older head just to calm Stones down and the goalkeeper. I think Stones has been having a running battle with Berg. You comings together, shall we say, off the ball.
Well, you know all about those. And your smile tells the full story. You enjoyed them too.
The game has changed now, guys.
There's Grandfist. An important touch from Ashley Young. Kane. Lingard. Dare he go all the way? He tried. Support now from Trippier. He's always there.
He is, those Kane, though, intelligence, bring him into play, holding on to the ball for his team.
What an unselfish striker display this has been from England's captain.
Definitely. He's so intelligent, holding on to the ball, taking defenders, and creating space for others.
Kane can't get past Augustinson. Free kick England now.
This is Trippier. Look how quick he is in there. He's electric tonight.
Chance for England to take a little bit more time out of the game. Had to get Eric Dyer into the game. There was a bit of criticism of Gareth Southgate when he put Dyer on initially against Colombia because it slowed it down too much.
It did. We seem to lose our momentum, and I hope the message is to keep going for the jugular when we can, of course, be compact and difficult to beat. But let's pass the ball forward. Can we score from another set piece? Why not?
One more seals it. One more, you can all rest easy. In from Trippier, but Olsen can let it go. That was probably the poorest delivery he's put into the tournament, never mind the game. Now Eric Dyer will come on, and it's Jordan Henderson who's going to go, so a straight swap for England in the thick of it all.
Yeah, Henderson has really impressed me. This passing now, his body shape when he receives the ball, he opens himself out. He's always looking to go forward guy now.
And another key part of that is, with 6 minutes to go plus stoppage time, he was on a yellow card in the previous game. No dramas now, he could play in the semi-final if England see this out.
No, and also that vital block that he got when Pickford made a great save down to his right-hand side. Dyer needs to just come back in and just pick his confidence up, do things quickly.
No yellow cards in the game at all today. What a refreshing change after Colombia. Final Swedish changes happened too. Pontus Jansson, is it, of Leeds United? Another who knows how to scrap and battle.
That's why Dyer's come on, isn't it? Just to sit in front of that defence.
They're on their way. Back to Moscow, it looks like being. And they'll hope to stay there for the whole of next week. Kane. Lingard still absolutely full of everything.
And he's so important to this system.
And he's been pulled back by Olsen. Free kick England.
Yeah, he's just tapped his ankles there. So full of running, isn't he? Intelligence.
So, want to play that?
Kieran Trippier will take his time with putting the ball into the box. A word for the England fans. We were talking to several of them we encountered around town yesterday. They've broken the back. They've got here by whatever method they could. They've been absolutely tremendous in Russia.
You know, I wonder whether England should start thinking about time wasting. We're going for it again here. It just shows you the confidence of the team.
Trippier, it's a wicked one once more. Maguire, scrambled to safety by Sweden. That'll be a free kick against Maguire, who's going to get a caution for kicking the ball away. And he would do well not to get too involved with young Guidetti. Just a reminder, as Guidetti gets a yellow card too, that yellow cards after the quarter-final stage are wiped. So he shouldn't cause too much damage if he can see this one out.
He gets there first, doesn't he, Maguire?
Swedish tears. They know it's nearly all over for them. They've got to do something very quickly in a game that they've rarely looked like doing anything. When they have, they found Jordan Pickford in the way. And another referee's call goes England's way.
Yes, and it's Dyer in there again. Attacks the ball well. Just shows the importance of bringing him on.
England's players are doing the same as a lot of you watching at home and most inside the stadium. As well as the game, they're also having a glance every now and again at the clock, ever present on the big screens at either end of the stadium.
Dare I say, it looks like the perfect performance at the moment.
Kane happy to let that one go over his head.
Icing on the cake. I'd like to see Sterling score a goal. I hope that hasn't hurt his confidence too much, those chances in the first half.
He's still getting in there.
Yes, he is.
Walker. Delph. Young. Sterling is wriggled away from Lindelof. It's Fabian Delph. And he left it for Sterling. The Manchester City men looking at one another.
Yeah, just a miscommunication. It's your ball, no mine.
Oh no!
Goes out of play.
Walker. Another from the Premier League champions. Augustinsson.
It's that man again, isn't it? I mean, unbelievable, Maguire, the game he's played. Never mind the goal he scored. He is now the cornerstone, isn't he, of that defence. We simply can't be without him.
It's just his 10th cap for England.
You're so good, congratulations.
That might be a foul. He might have just given Sweden something here with Grandfist nudged to the floor.
I'd like to see the replay of that. Grandfist, he's just stood, isn't he? Yeah, okay, little nudge.
Don't sit comfortably just yet. Sweden have the chance to test Pickford again, to set up a rocky ride to the end for England. English football watchers know all about Seb Larsson's ability from these positions.
Well, I've seen him do this as a kid, I have to say.
Augustinsson is the left footer who looks most keenly interested. Jordan Pickford's built his wall. Up steps Augustinsson, and he got right underneath it. That might be it for Swedish hopes.
Well, game, set and match there. Don't underestimate Ashley Young. He runs back in there initially, back onto the post, and then he comes out. It's an awful strike. Just gets right underneath it.
Raheem Sterling is off, and England supporters in the stadium are giving him a terrific send off the field too. Yes, he could have settled nerves a lot sooner than they were, but he's put in another performance of endeavour.
He has, and
the manager appreciates
he
it.
certainly knows. He knows that those punishing runs he kept making into the channels was a nightmare for those Swedish defenders. He didn't get his goal. Hopefully that will come later. I'll tell you what, Rashford though, he'd be fancying his chances now.
We are coming up to the end of the first minute of stoppage time. The board said 5 to be added on. I know many of you will be counting down every single second. Offside flags up. Free kick for England.
This is comfortable, guy, isn't it? What were we worried about?
You speak for yourself. But England's players have made it look as comfortable as a World Cup quarter-final could ever be.
Well, bring on the next opponents.
Russia or Croatia in Moscow on Wednesday. You thought at home you'd had your big party this afternoon.
Celebrate by putting the sprinklers on. There's a water ban at home, isn't there?
Let's not go overboard. Dyer. There's Klassen. It's over Grandfist. It's Guidetti who helps it on. Olsen beaten to it by Kieran Trippier.
Trippier's been a revelation, hasn't he? I know those fans have been outnumbered, but you'd never believe it, the noise they're making.
Faces of joy, faces of disbelief, even on the faces of those who remember 19... Oh, I nearly said that year. We've managed all tournament. Not yet. Not quite yet. But we can talk about 1990 again, because England are heading to only their 3rd ever World Cup semi-final. Kyle Walker, John Stones safely back to Jordan Pickford. It will be the toast of England tonight.
Well, this is a new England now, isn't it? You know, you look at actually the way that Sweden played. This is how we used to play. 4-4-2. Is it a part of the dark ages now? There's only been one team trying to play football today.
Here's Kane to take it into the corner. To joust with Seb Larsson. And to be held by the former Sunderland and Hull man who's collected a yellow card that he's not concerned about at all.
That's pure frustration, isn't it? This is the other side of the game that Harry Kane does so well. He scraps for everything. No one's getting that ball.
Well, whether it's Russia, in particular it's Russia or Croatia, what a night it will be on Wednesday in the Luzhniki Stadium, where the final will be in 8 days' time. That place is huge, that will be loud, and it will be teeming with England supporters. I know many more will be making their way out to Moscow. Grandfist, extra forward now. Olsen. It's Marcus Rashford who's back to try and stop him going forward.
I think the team are desperate to get this clean sheet, aren't they?
Couldn't manage it against Panama, Tunisia, Belgium's reserves, or against Colombia at the end. And let's not forget, there still might be a goal at the end, although maybe not for Sweden, because here's Lingard to roll with it. And to take it all the way if he can. Rashford returns, Lingard goes on again, Dyer. England win! England win! And England will be in the World Cup semi-final for the first time since 1990. The feeling grows stronger that football is coming home. Jordan Pickford with a wonderful display in goal. Goals scored by Harry Maguire and Dele Alli. And for now at least, I've got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. Sweden 0, England 2.
And so it goes on, and magnificently so. England are through to the semi-finals of the 2018 World Cup. That sounds good. It's not really supposed to be as comfortable as this with England, is it? Aside from a few terrific Jordan Pickford saves, England were calm, confident and sound, and they'll be in a semi-final for the first time in 28 years.
Amazing. What a performance. Professional, thorough. Every single player played their part. Pickford was outstanding in goal when he had to be, when they got through the defence. I thought Harry Maguire was superb. Henderson, what a shift he put in